morning and welcome to the fourth episode of our show that has been sponsored by the Child Rights Alliance. I, Randy Artley, is thankful for the privilege to be your host again. Today our topic is adolescent sexual and physical development. Adolescence is a process in which our teenagers go through called puberty into becoming an adult. Today on our show we have seven lovely young people that are here to give their views on our topic. I'll let them introduce themselves first as I start from my right.
My name is Ruth Wilson.
My name is Shelley Nels.
I'm Zakia Bunbury.
My name is Tanya Dickinson.
My name is Abba Crawford.
My name is Carl Guilford.
My name is Viola Douglas.
Okay. What are some of the challenges faced by teens in the home?
I would like to begin with low self-esteem. When parents tell their children bad things about themselves, children tend to have low self-esteem, and this will carry them like throughout their lives. And yeah, children will tend to have low self-esteem. Yeah, that's basically it. That's one of the challenges they face.
The next challenge would be behavioral challenge, because as these children develop more, they have different mood, they have different likes and dislikes, so their behavior tends to change. So don't expect them to be this one person all the time. They just keep changing. It's like they're unpredictable.
Exactly. Just to let me add to what she said, right? When a child is small, right, a parent would expect certain things from them. And a parent would say certain things to a child when they're small. But as that child grow into teenage life, going through that process of puberty, into adult, right, there's certain things you cannot say to them, right? You cannot be like, if you ask your child to do something for you, the child, even though you're the parent, the child now will expect you to say things like please and thank you, right? You appreciate what they do, right? But when they were small, you never used to appreciate. You know, you want your child to go to the shop, you say, hey, go to the shop for me. But as a child grow, you say things like please and thank you. Abba?
During adolescent stage, children tend to have a level of unbalanced mental disagreement between a parent. They find it hard to have a plain level of understanding and agreement with the parents of what they say or the parent decision. If a parent thinks this is right for a child, that child will have a level of disagreement, want to argue back with the parents, sitting in their side of the story. Those are adolescents, they think that they want to experience life on their own in their own terms, but they refuse to understand that their parents were once in their situation. During adolescence, as teens, we tend to have an unbalanced mental disagreements between the parents and the child. If a parent decides to have certain decision making, for the child, that child will have an argument. Like example, like clothing. That's one topic. If a child wears a certain outfit that the parents doesn't approve of, the child will say it's what we wear now, it's not what you wear then. It's what our custom and our parents, they will think is inappropriate that we're advertising our figures and stuff like that.
Okay.
Also to add what Abba said, I think this certain issues stem from what we call a generation gap, because not necessarily what your parents did and how they acted and what they wore when they were their age. We won't do the same things. We won't wear the same thing. It's called culture, and cultures change due to styles. It also changes due to the persons you surround yourself with. So surrounding yourself with a group of girls that you might want to fit in with, so to speak, they're wearing short clothes, and this is not necessarily if your parents' values not Christian, whether your religion, and it does not uphold with the rules of your parents. So this can also cause an imbalance of opinions in the home, and it can cause conflict.
I would like to add what Carl said about low self-esteem. And I think as parents, you should boost try everything in your power to boost your child's confidence, help them to be able to speak out and be able to be confident in themselves, not have insecurities. So this training should start from home.
Please repeat the question, please.
The question is, what are some of the challenges faced by teens within the home?
They face
Like, for example, some children live in abusive homes and they may face like drug abuse and it can affect the child. And some parents might just abuse their child randomly for stupid things and it can cause a child to have low self esteem.
So what would you think? Those are some of the challenges, right, that our children face within the home, right? And we know when a child is small, right, and a parent is constantly beating the child for things that doesn't make sense. Every little thing, which we do not promote um, lashes and those things. We don't approve of it, right? Corporal punishment, we don't approve, right? Parents, they beat their child for things that petty stuff. So as the child grow now, the child is like the parent develop that monster within that child. And even though they'll try many times to like reach out to that child, the child will always have this hatred towards them. And that should not be the case, right?
Yeah.
That is why we have sometimes when our teens come out into society, they have a different appearance to when they're at home. When they're at home, they're this rude and, this hatred towards people around them at home. But when they're out on the street, they're calm and nice.
Yes.
You want to add something?
I want to add something, and I also want to pick you up on something you said. You said that we do not condemn, no, we do not
Promote
condone
corporal.
and promote corporal punishment. I would just like to say that from my perspective, there is a thin line between discipline and abuse. And some parents find it best to display corporal punishment in their homes in a way of maintaining order and structure, to show power and to show authority to that child. And with some children, it works. But pertaining to teenagers, they tend to rebel and they tend to say, Licks is bun and cool.
Exactly.
But then there's some parents who go verbally diminish the child and they call them stupid and tell them they're worthless and things. And that could also add to what Fayola said when it comes to self-esteem. So I think there's a thin line between discipline and abuse. And corporal punishment, some people don't condone it, some people condemn it. And that's just a personal view of mine.
Exactly. But what you said is true, and we stand with you, right? But I would always say that if a parent speak to their child, how many times and the child refuses to listen, that's where we have these counselors. That is where you turn to somebody and seek advice. Because even though you're the parent, that doesn't mean that you know it all. You know. So sometimes children have a voice that needs to be heard. Ruth, would you like to add something?
Yeah, sometimes I think that children feel that they're shunned by their parents. Parents don't give children the opportunity to express themselves, and I think that's where we could get conflict in the homes. I think parents need to sit with their children and try to understand their perspective, and also the child should try to understand their parents' perspective so that there would be less conflict in the home.
So true. Recently a situation occurred, right, with a parent and a child. And the parent is saying that the child is disrespectful at home. The child is not who he is at home. He's not the same person when he's on the street among persons, right? And I sat and I asked myself this question. Why is it that the parent, and this is a question parents should ask themselves, why is it that my child is so disobedient to me at home? They're not listening to me. They're giving me rudeness at home. But when they're out on the streets, they have a whole different character. Which we're not finding excuse for children being disobedient. But parents sometimes they should sit and ask themselves these questions. Because of what the parent did, right, may turn that child into who he or she is. Create that monster. And as parents, we need to give our children a listening ears. Anyone want to add anything before we move on?
I think that I think that the reason why children don't respect their parents is I think that parents, in order to be respected, you have to respect others in order to be
exactly.
respected.
Yeah.
And once you show this dominant and respectable face, you will be respected. If you show this petty and stupid face, they won't respect you.
Yeah.
So we've heard what are some of we now that was we just discussed some of the challenges teenagers face, adolescents actually face at home. What do you think about school within the school? What are some of the challenges within the school?
I think some of the challenges that children face adolescents face in school would be body image. Adolescence is a time where you go through a period where you go through puberty and it's you're heading to adulthood, and during that time you may start to feel insecure about your body image, what you look like, what other people think about you, and when you start getting negative thoughts about what people think about me, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, and that's when the child, have mental breakdown. They get depressed. They start doing a whole set of things. Drug abuse. There's where a lot of things coming just from being insecure about yourself. It leads to other social issues and stuff like that.
Peer pressure would be one that a challenge that children face in school, because in the school they have so much of children, they have different kinds of children, and there are different kinds of group of children. Like there's this group that would group up and they would plan that, okay, we're gonna skip school and we're gonna go and swim. Then there's this other group that are gonna come together and be like, okay, this afternoon after school we're gonna stay back and do some work. So depends on whichever group this child falls in, that will say if this child is being pressured by the persons around them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I think.
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I think that it is so important for students or children to find the right company. I mean, we always want to be around people who are popular, and so we want to find that place where we can fit in. But children, to me, should find the right company and not be engaged in drug abuse or things like that, because it will be detrimental in the long run.
Exactly, and parents should sometimes allow their children to make certain decisions. But certain decisions like picking their friends, you know, this is my friend. This is the person I choose to be my friend, right? And if I choose this person and my parent realize that this friend is not going to benefit you, they're not going to positively influence you in no way, that is where the parents should step in. But before the parents step in to make that decision on who my friends should be, they first need to ask me, why is it that I made this decision? Why did I pick this person? You don't just jump in and say, I don't want to see you align with that person. I don't want to this, I don't want that. You need to listen to that child's opinion first before you make that decision. Abba?
Yeah, I don't add on tie and say as body image. Also, as adolescents, we seek a kind of identity for ourselves out there around our peers. That wasn't how my friend said about the figure of our body. Certain female or male doesn't feel comfortable in their own skin. They tend to listen to their friend advice like eat less carbs, do on this diet. You try to starve yourself to force yourself in certain outfits that suits your friend ideals of, oh, you look pretty in that, or because when your friend told you that, oh, you're too skinny, you tend to gain more weight for them and then say, oh, you're too fat. And for finding in adolescence, we have a difficult time finding our true identity for ourselves, because we try to copy our image of ourselves to other people or our peers we line with, because we tend to try to fit in, as they say. But the people, our adolescents don't understand that it's good to be that one to be shining out among the rest. That shows that you're different, and that shows that you truly accept yourself for who you are, and that you understand that you have a rare uniqueness within you that no one has. And if you accept that, you won't have a difficulty in your body image or finding your identity as yourself.
Exactly.
To me, this whole topic about peer pressure and body image, it comes back to self-esteem. It comes back to how you value yourself, how how you think about yourself. And we should really look inside and try not to
meet anybody else's expectations, because we can never please society. We could be thin, society says that you need to gain more weight. We can be fat, society says that you need to lose weight. So we can never please society, and it is very important what Abba said, that we should shine out, be unique, and don't live your life based on what other people say or what other people think about you.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is why parents, now when your child is young, growing up, you need to tell your child stuff like, you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are smart, you're educated. When you say those things to your children growing up, even though when your child get older and they become a point in which somebody says something like, you're dunce, that child will, it will be like throwing water on dog back, because the child will play deaf ears to you. Because that child knows he have that thing built within him from his parents, telling him that I am worthy, I am smart, I'm educated. Parents need to tell their children motivational words to help lift their self-esteem. And every child needs a start within life. Everybody actually needs a start. And once the parents start it, the child will now continue, and that is where the child will build their self-esteem more.
Yeah.
But there are some parents, on the other hand, they say some hurtful stuff to their children. Some parents would say things, like a child growing up, and a child, like, we know stealing is wrong, but if a child picked up something in the home, a parent, you sit and you talk with a child. You let that child know that that's not right. But some parents, they jump to conclusion by saying things, you're a thief, you're a this, you're a that. And whatever is it that you, the parents, say over that child's life, that child will carry it throughout their life.
Yeah.
Is you prophesy something over their life, right? So you prophesy positivity, they'll go with positivity. You prophesy negativity, they'll go with negativity. What you say is have an effect on that child. Anyone want to add anything, Carl?
I kind of disagree
Okay,
with
Abba.
I kind of disagree with that, because as I think that even though your parents say things about you that's really hurtful, you can actually prove them wrong. If my parents come and say I'm worthless, I'm useless, I'm gonna prove them wrong. That's showing that I am worth it. I try my best to show them. If they do not acknowledge what I do to become worthy for their attention, I know someone or myself will accept, what I did was worthy enough. If they can't see it, I know to myself that I'm worthy enough.
Yes, Abba, we understand your point and where you're coming from, self-esteem and all of these things it starts with you. But I would not expect a 6-year-old child, to build such a strong self-esteem. I expect the parents to start it. The foundation starts with the parents, then it continues with the child.
Yes, with what Randy is saying, remember children are actually different. While there are some children that even though they are thrown with negativity, in the future they can just shake it off. And there are some children that when they go with it, it just can't come up. It's like
Yes.
it's gone too deep within them.
It's like an out of flesh over their flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes back to the parents, because remember, you are living with your parents, and you are thinking to yourself that if my own parents think that call me names, of course I am that, because they know me more than anybody else. They know
Yeah,
me
that
more
is
than the
true.
people out there. So if they call me that, of course I'm going to believe that, because they know me. So, and I don't know, it has to, you have to have a high self-esteem, in terms of what Abba was saying, because of course negativity will be thrown at you. So if you have a high self-esteem, maybe what the negative things your parents are saying you'll eventually grow out of that, and be more positive. But it's the majority is you will have a negative self-esteem,
Yeah.
because of what your parents said.
Okay,
That's
Carl?
true.
Coming back to the body image part, I think that when someone tells you something bad, you should just ignore them, because, as I said earlier, perfection is what you define to be, and nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
So when people tell you bad things, you should just ignore them and just keep walking, keep moving. Don't let what they say define you.
Yeah.
Prove them wrong. Always prove them wrong.
You true, but sometimes you say you try to ignore, but sometimes you cannot ignore certain things, and then you have to remember that to be the bigger person in it. If
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
right.
become the bigger person, you will be like them. Try to ignore it. You know what? I don't have time with what they say. Those are words. Words cannot really hurt me. They're
Yeah.
just words.
Okay.
So as being a bigger person, I will ignore them. I tend to not listen to them. So
Ex- exactly, but sometimes it's hard to ignore. Tayan?
I would like to agree with what Carl said. Um, you need to ignore them. You need to know when to walk away, and but you need to have the willpower to do so. You have to have the strength
Yeah.
to turn away when people tell you bad things, and it will boost your self-esteem to know that you can walk away from certain situations.
The lovely lady with the glasses. I forgot your name.
Um, yeah, that's true. What my colleague said. Um, there are going to be people, whether in the home, whether in schools, in the community at large, who are going to try to tear you down and try to belittle you. But you need to know your self worth. You need to know when to put a stop to certain things, and you need to be strong. Strong and defend yourself against them, turn away, and to be the bigger person in every situation.
Also, come back what Abba said. If someone tell you you're done, you should just smile and tell them, or don't tell them nothing. Just use note to yourself that you are a smart and you're worth it, and you know you have a high self-esteem. You continue to do so and prove yourself wrong to them.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, everybody got their life to live. Like, who cares if you tell me that I stupid or I ugly? I have my life to live. You have your life to live. When people tell you certain things, they know that you are going to be this really good person in life, and they only want to tell you things to bring you down. So when you tell me that I ugly, I don't even care because I have my life to live. If you want to be in that place, you want to hurl negativity at people, then you keep on doing that. You continue to be, that person who is just always going to have something negative to say about people because it just shows that you are negative inside. So if somebody tells you that you're ugly, you just walk away and you do whatever, you feel. You just own your body and own your life because you are a positive individual and you should feel that way.
Sakia?
You know, most times when people tell you those things, it's because there's someone who's bullying them. To every bully, there's a bigger bully.
Yes.
And maybe that person is feeling insecure about themselves. They think they're ugly. They think they're worthless and think.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody should feel that way, and nobody should make anybody feel that way. But sometimes that's how people feel about themselves, and they take out and they lash out at you. So sometimes necessarily you could be the most gorgeous person on the planet, but that person is gonna still find something wrong with you. In life, there's always gonna be persons who find things to say about you that are hurtful, that are hateful. Take an example for the president of Ghana. He's the president, the only one person that holds such authority. And whether he does something good or whether he does something bad, the people talk. So
It's true.
in life, you can't
Exactly.
please anybody. Just live for yourself and walk with God.
Yes. Such wonderful words. Now let's go to the bigger picture in which, the biggest challenge, not just teenagers or adolescents or adults face, but I say everybody faces it.
Exactly, everybody.
Social media.
Oh.
Social media.
Well,
In what way do you think, or what are some of the challenges that adolescents face when it comes to social media?
to me, as to me, adolescents always having that perfect picture. Like when you put a picture on Facebook, is the comments. We adolescents, we crave for the comments that
It's true.
our
And the likes.
our friends or people on social media actually respond to it because oh, have a 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes, and you feel bad because you only have one or two, and you try to pose better, put on more tight outfits so to attract the crowd.
Yeah.
Tayan?
I think a challenge that teenagers especially face, or everybody face on social media would be cyberbullying. There are certain persons that just, I don't know, they may be jealous of you or something, that they just go and they just think, talk and comment negatively about you, and it's that I think would lead to low self-esteem.
Take your time.
So. Yeah, yeah.
A challenge a teenager face on social media is time management, because
time management.
you have these children that will sit on Facebook all day, run through these lame pictures, and they're going on for profiles, just check through profiles,
Lurking.
nothing to do, This one on your page, and nobody's not texting them, right? So they need to just open it one time, come back for 2 minutes. But I know you have some work to do. They can keep from doing your schoolwork, and you might be tired after come off Facebook, and you're not able to do your homework. So I think they should come off Facebook. Learn to manage. You think you should come?
Facebook is a site in which we communicate with persons that we don't really see every day. So I wouldn't really say they should come off. They should have a time limit.
But persons actually abuse it.
Exactly. They abuse social media. For example, I was running through Facebook the other day. And a young...
A hypocrite yourself.
This morning.
No, I think it was Thursday, and a young man posted something. He said, me and my family, we went new driving. It's not driving, it's thriving. And persons, somebody screenshot it and they posted it, and, everybody was just sharing it.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody was just commenting, laughing, saying things like, who was your spelling teacher? Which spelling classes you went? But none of them stopped to say, okay, it was a mistake. Or none of them stopped to say, okay, inbox the chat and say, you made a mistake, take it down and post it back if you want. But instead, they took it, they screenshot it, and they share it. Now, if that child did not have a high self-esteem, we don't know what would have happened. Recently, also, we had a situation with a police officer. He don't have a high self-esteem. He got drunk, and he was caught kissing another male, and somebody posted on the internet. He committed suicide. You see, he's an adult. He's not a teenager now going over to adult. He is an adult. So you see now that it's not just adolescents face these things, but adults also. Anybody else want to add?
I think to that, this morning I saw someone posted a woman beating her daughter with a cutlass.
Yes, I saw that also.
That one was very disrespectful for someone to post on this. Like, everyone will see it. The white people post these things. Like, seriously, I don't understand.
But they just saw the video with when the girl posed when she was with her friends, and she wanted to be, the outstanding one. And she was pulling out all her bosom, was outside and all. That is why she got her lashes and so on. Anyways, we'll now take a break, and we'll be right back with more of our topic.
Yes, I have rights.
Yes.
Yes, I do have rights.
Yes, I have rights.
Yes.
Yes, I have rights.
Yes, I have rights because I have to go to school, take my education, and be a good student and make up in life.
Yes, I do have rights. I have rights.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I have rights. Yes, I have rights.
To have a good education and to love my parents.
To be protected, love, and care.
Protection, shelter, and good education.
I have rights to protection, shelter, to take my education.
Some of
Our rights are that children should be properly protected, cared for, and loved.
Get a good education and shelter.
To love my parents and to be educated.
Some of my rights are having food, shelter, and a good education.
My rights is to be loved properly, cared properly, and protected the right way.
Some of my rights are protection, going to school, and getting food.
Some of my rights are to stop hurting children and treat them properly.
Some of my rights are having a good education and loving my parents.
Some of my rights are food, shelter, and a good education.
Some of my rights are to have an education and be top of my class.
When I see someone gets beat by their parents.
What makes me sad is the way that people don't have enough respect for children.
The things that make me sad is when other people fight each other.
When somebody's getting licks.
When other people get licks.
When I'm getting licks.
When children get licks.
When I get licks.
Abuse of children.
What makes me sad that people don't see how these children are being hurt.
All the killing that is happening in our country.
I am sad when bad stuff happens to others.
Child abuse. I would make sure that people stop doing that.
Child abuse, people fighting and cursing.
One thing in this one that I can change is when people abuse each other.
Child abusing.
Child abuse.
I would like to change people from cursing and fighting.
Child abuse. It would be child abuse.
Child abuse.
Children getting licks.
Child abuse.
Child abuse.
Very sad. I feel very sad.
I feel sad from not doing the right things.
I feel sad and unhappy when I get licks.
Sad and angry.
Bad for doing the wrong things.
I feel bad because I get licks for a reason.
I feel sad and hurt, but I also know that my parents are trying to protect me and make sure that I get things right.
Bad because I did the wrong thing.
I feel sad when I receive licks.
Feel sad because I didn't do the right thing that I supposed to do.
I feel bad because I did the wrong thing.
Angry and sad at the same time.
Bad.
Sad. Bad because it hurts my feelings.
No. No.
Most of the times.
So let them get things right, yes, but not like bad licks.
I won't beat it. They don't have no reason that I should beat my child.
Yes.
Yes, I would beat them, but not for stupid things.
Not really.
Yes, for the wrong things to make them do it the right way.
Not really. Not really.
Yes, but not all the times.
Yes.
Mostly times.
Welcome back to our show that has been sponsored by the Child Rights Alliance. For those that just tuned in, I am your host, Randy Atterley. Today's topic is the development of adolescents sexually and physically. Before we move on, we will continue on our first question, which is, what are some of the challenges teens face on social media? Ruth?
I think the biggest problem with social media is when people snap a picture and they post it, that is their perfect
picture. So you cannot compare yourself to their highlight reel and then to the state that you are now, because what they posted is that was their perfect moment. So if you compare that to if you're in a bad stage, that it just won't add up. You don't know what they did to get there. You don't know how many sleepless nights they had, how many diets they went on, So don't compare yourself to somebody else's highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Moving on to our second question. What are some of the positive influence in children's lives from school?
Um, I think some positive influence is friends. Well, basically peer pressure, positive peer pressure. You're in this group and they're pressuring you, or they're, saying that, okay, well, as Shelly said, after school we're gonna get to this big study group. There's a test coming up and we need to start studying. We need to make sure everyone gets their notes to study so we can all pass on this test. And I think if you surround yourself with friends like that, you will be successful throughout life.
Exactly. Anybody else?
Also, they can have peer education where you have a group of friends or maybe teachers, but not teachers, but mostly your peers, and you're sitting together and you're doing schoolwork, and they push you to do your homework and your assignments and to get your task done.
Carl?
I think the teachers is a positive influence to the children, because without the teachers, the children would be not, because the teachers are our first, our second, because our parents are our first. Yeah, the teachers are positive. Most teachers are positive, yeah, because some teachers talk to you about social issues and not just teach, just come to class and teach, but talk to you about life and talk to you about everything that affects a child. And yeah, I think the teachers are positive and positive influence.
Oftentimes we hear that school is our second home because we spend most of our time there during the day and then we go home. At school, I believe, I second what Carl says on teachers are positive influences. Let's say there's a weak child in the class and the other children are somewhat stronger than he or she is. That teacher can now set time out from their schedule after class, before class, I don't know, break or lunch, and to sit with that child and to explain the concept and to break it down to a level in which he or she may understand. So yes, I do believe that teachers are one of the positive influences that we can find in schools.
It all depends on the child's behavior and if the child is willing to learn, right?
Sure.
Ruth? Okay, let's give Ruth a minute to gather her thoughts.
I agree with what Tyann said, that peers, because to me some children are more open up to their friends than to their teachers and to their own parents. So if they're open up to them now, they can be able to give them positive advice and they can just share advice to each other in a positive manner.
Ruth?
I think your religious leaders, your pastor, your pandit, I think that you can go to them for advice spiritually. If you want to get closer to God, you could speak to your pandit or your pastor, in areas where you need help spiritually. So I think that children could go to their religious leaders.
Viola?
In reference to what Ruth just said, some people or some persons in the church that I once heard that the church people are your biggest critics. I don't know, I've never experienced that for myself, but church, for me, church is not for the righteous, it's for the sinners. Therefore, the people who go there are sinners, they make mistakes, and they're expected to. Sometimes some people say they talk to the pastor, and maybe the pastor might make reference to that situation in his message on Sunday.
Exactly,
So
that's true.
that might make that person feel bad or say that the pastor isn't confidential or whatnot. And that will shun persons and make persons not want to go and speak to the religious leaders.
Exactly. Our religious leaders are dear. They're like I would say that they stand in the gap, for they're like our spiritual fathers, So when you go and you speak to your pandit or to your pastor and whatever is it that you call your religious leader, right? And you sit and you speak with them, and they counsel you, they have a right to whatever is it that was, speak you talk there should be kept should be kept in confidential, and it should be kept between the two of them. But then again, they have some religious leaders that they go out and they preach it in a topic they preach it on the stage.
Yeah,
And
they base their sermon or whatever on what you and them said, and but sometimes it's helpful to the other members of the church that go through the same things. It could help them a lot.
I was actually going to say exactly what Cyan said, because if you are brave enough to go to this religious leader and express yourself, maybe there are other persons out there that are not brave as you to go and express. So that him saying that in front of persons, remember he's not going to say, oh, well, Ruth came to me and said so, right? But he's just going to say it. You're going to feel as though he's saying it to you, but you don't know if there are other persons out there that this message is directing to.
Abba?
All my colleagues really have a point there. It's like, spiritually, the confidentiality is a really good topic, because also it's good to confess. And when sometimes during trial times, you put all your efforts to God, and second line of God, you have your spiritual leader there, and from his wisdom, he's teaching you certain stuff, and you take knowledge from that. And as my colleague said before, I have someone who's experienced similar things as me, or not as me, but how my spiritual leader will bring it around to his other members. It will not only impact me. It might feel negative because it's speaking about me, but it also, to me, I want to think on a positive side, that actually beneficial other persons in the congregation to know that they are not alone.
Yeah.
Carl?
Adding to the religious topic, as we all became religious.
No, the topic is not. It's not a religious topic. The topic is how can teenagers or adolescents be positively influenced by society.
Well, adding to the religious topic, as everyone said, because I think pastors should be confidential too, because if someone come and tell you something, it shows that they trust you. And once you break that trust, they won't tell you anything anymore. So pastors should keep it confidential between you and the person that share it, and shouldn't share it with other people.
Before we move on, I just want to clear up the ear. I don't want our religious committee feel or think that we are beating down on them or we are bad talking them, but we are youths and we're just sharing our opinions. Our fourth question is, do you think that adolescents need their parents' counseling when making decisions for their future?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that our parents, no matter what profession they hold or what position in society they hold, they've been through this. They've known the challenges they have faced, and in this manner they can direct us and tell us what to avoid and what not to get ourselves into. But then there's a point where some parents want to dictate, where they want to say, you should be a lawyer, you should be a doctor, without knowing, without viewing or asking what their child wants, to see what their child is capable of. Because not everybody can cope and manage with science subjects. Not everybody's good at business or art subjects. So their parents should guide them and give them rules or guidelines as to what to look for and how to go about making certain decisions.
Exactly.
Not to dictate.
Exactly, because I've known a child that was in business stream, and this child was very good at business, always topping in accounts and office administration. And when you ask him what is it that you want to become, you want to become a contractor. Yes, and persons might laugh. Teachers was like, "Boy, why don't want to become? Why don't be a teacher or why don't be an accountant?" But he said no, he want to be a contractor. Becoming a contractor is nothing bad, because at the end of the day, a contractor is making more money than a
Exactly.
teacher,
Yeah.
Very
True.
true.
right?
And
So
without the
we should
contractor,
allow
we won't have homes.
exactly.
Exactly.
That is how important these people are. Without contractors, we wouldn't have home. Without garbage collectors, how are garbage going to be removed from
Exactly.
our parapet? You know,
Everybody is important.
everybody
Every
is
job.
important.
Every job.
Every job is important, Ruth.
I just wanna hear Kazaya's view on why she said no, because she said yes, and she gave her opinion. She said no. I would just want to
I
hear.
said no because I said that some parents have a tendency to dictate over their child's life. When I said that some parents tell their child what they should do instead of asking their child what they want to do.
Exactly.
Like, you should be a doctor. So ask the child, sit with the child, see their strong subjects, see where they want to be in the next 10, 50 years, and direct them. Don't dictate, don't tell them what they should do. Guide them.
Abba?
As my colleague just said, she has two solid points there. But the dictatorship, it's of course your parents want the best for you, and they think maybe from their experience, maybe they didn't become a doctor, so they're going to want to put that kind of leverage on you. You know what? If I didn't become what my dream is, they're going to put their dreams in you. And parents should realize that child has their own life to live. They need to experience life. So if a child, whatever child wants to become, you support them. In the academic, where they can find the strongest points, also the weakest points, so they can improve in certain areas to aim to what they want to be. As some students, some adults, as teens, adults, we don't want our parents all up in our business telling us what to do and stuff like that. But they need to understand is like kind of like a guideline our parents trying to set for us to make us a better person that we are today. So when they are not here, we can able to say that no, I learned good values from my parents because what they have taught me from their experience.
Exactly. Let me just repeat the question because some persons are like misinterpreting. Do you think that adolescents need their parents' counseling when making decisions for their future? Carl?
Yes, I think that they do. Because um, as adolescents, we tend to make wrong decisions a lot because we're changing and we're now experiencing new things. We tend to make wrong decisions. Our parents should guide us and counsel us, and because they've, as my colleague said, they've been through this before. They will know what's right and what's wrong. So, whatever they tell us, they're telling us for the better. So, when the parents tell us something, just know that they're not telling it to you for the worse or anything. They want what's best for you. So, listen to your parents. Let them guide you.
I would just like to agree with what Carl said. Yes, I agree with that because as adolescents, we feel that we're because of all the changes that our bodies going through, we feel we're big and we're able to make our own decisions. But that's not the case sometimes. In life, where we grow up, we're faced with certain decisions, life-changing decisions that we can't cope with on our own because everyone said that our parents have been there before. Our parents have the knowledge to deal with situations like this. So I think that adolescents need to listen to their parents.
I agree with Tyan and the others that said yes because parent we have never been at this position before. Our parents have passed through it, and probably if our parents have older children, our parents have seen what it's like for a child to go through these stages. So when a parent is willing to help you through the process of this adolescent stage, we should take the advice because it will not always sound as the best advice, but it is the best.
Yeah, like I said, our parents know what's best for us. Like your parent would not want you to do something that would harm you. So of course you should listen to what they have to say about a certain topic, we also should feel free to go to our parents and express what's wrong with us, or anything like that. We shouldn't feel that we should not go to our parents, because our parents knows us better than anyone. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our final question. How can teens work with their parents to foster a positive relationship? I repeat, how can teens work with their parents to foster a positive relationship?
Um, First of all, it is my belief that parents must first show verbally or physically their child that it's okay to tell them things no matter the circumstances, no matter how bad it is. They'll still sit and work through it. Parents should make their child comfortable in telling them social things, because teens, we don't have it easy as teens. We have schoolwork, we have home, there co-curricular activities, and there's also peer pressure, which we visited earlier. So our parents are tasked with making us comfortable, and go home. You could go home and say, mommy, I had a bad day, so. You could tell her, and she will be able to sit with you and to tell you that she understands exactly what you're going through, and not to shout on you. Let's say you did something bad, not to shout on you or to, you know, condemn you, so to speak.
Also, the child can also have ask his or her mom to help with his or her homework, and the child can also like tell his mom whatever's going on in his life, and the mom will be able to help the child, and the child can also help by so has a little kid around time, and they can have some fun sometimes.
I think that parents should talk less and listen more. As teenagers, or they have a child, that children want to be heard, and when you're sitting down and talking with your child, you need to listen to what they have to say without any interruptions, because I know a lot of parents, as soon as your child says something, you're ready to comment on it.
Yeah.
But I think you should listen to what your child have to say before you jump in with your idea or whatever.
Exactly. We should at least give our children a chance to speak and to make decisions.
Exactly.
And then you can come in and give your input on it.
Yeah.
True.
You know? So that, and I would always say that sometimes let's use the mothers for example. Mothers always tell their girl children, be careful of who boy you pick up, and all of that, And sometimes your mother, when she was young, she picked up a boy that, he just came for sex and then he gone. But your mom don't know if that boy that you picked up there is the same boy,
Yeah.
And our parents have to say, you ready for boyfriend and girlfriend
Exactly.
and all that. Yes, we're young, we're now writing exams and these things, right? But everybody needs somebody to talk to, right? And sometimes, the type of conversation that you want, not sexual conversation, but suddenly you want to speak about certain things that you don't feel so close to tell to your parents.
Yeah.
But you see, if you have a boy on his side or a girl on his side, you could easily go and say, well, this, and you hear what they have to say. I know our mind always wants to explore.
Yeah.
As I always say, we have when we're young, we're scientists, and then when we get older, then we actually become our desire. Ruth?
By the way, we are not condoning any relationship that any you said how something about go to a boy or
No,
go to
something
a
you
girl.
need somebody to talk to.
Oh, that's your age.
Yeah, that's my, opinion.
Okay, but I think parents or mothers especially have this instinct, like they know your friends, and I don't know, like before you introduce them to or when you introduce them to your mother, they know, mothers just pick up on these things, like they know if the friend is bad for you or if the friend is good for you, and I think that is where we should listen, because mothers know a lot. Parents
know best.
Parents know a lot.
Exactly.
Mostly moms.
Exactly. Mostly moms, yes. And I think if fathers were more present within the home, they will also be on the same level with our mothers.
Yeah.
Right? And I would always say that when you're now pregnant, your mom you're now pregnant, you should watch a lot of Lifetime movies.
I love it.
Yes, you should watch a lot of Lifetime movies because those are persons sharing their stories. Those are not just fake, that's persons sharing their stories. And you can see what you can do, what you cannot do, and so on. Carl?
Please repeat the question.
The question is, how can teens work with their parents to foster a positive relationship?
Well, I think that teens should open up to their parents, but since that Ruth said that you said it that children wouldn't want to tell their parents everything, they'd want someone else to talk to. I think the parents should provide this welcome feeling that the children would want to tell them instead of telling somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Exactly.
I think that the parents should learn to listen and the children should learn to listen. Because if me and my mother is having a conversation, she as an adult, she's going to want to be on top. Yes. And then I can't raise my voice because you're being disrespectful, right? But if you're going to have a conversation with your child, both of you need to be at the same level. Let your voice be at the same. You need to let the child voice be heard, and as children, you need to let your parents' voice be heard because you're going to listen to what they're saying, you're going to interpret it, and then you're going to give them back a result. And then you have to tell them why I said that you shouldn't go on the road. Why? It must be a reason to why you're saying something.
Sometimes and I notice this mostly happen between the boys and their fathers. Sometimes, well, we know that they say our mothers are for their sons, and the fathers for the daughter, right? Sometimes when the son and the father is having a talk, a conversation, something the son might say something that the father is not pleased with. Now, even though you're not pleased with it, you're the man of the home. You should still listen. But there's some fathers that jump on their high horses. They raise their tone. And they're ready to row and to carry on. And that is why you see we don't really have much of our father and son moments. Anybody wants to add anything before we close? Well,
okay, I have to say something. According to one of my past teachers, Sir Cowendell, he said that you are your own unique individual. And he said that to me since I was in Form 1. And even to this day that I've already written exam and all these things, I can still remember the words that he said. Because children, like, you will look at other persons. Okay, she have a fancy bag, I don't have. She have fancy phone, I don't have. Okay, her hair is long, my hair is short, and these things. You will start looking at persons and just be like, why didn't God made me with long silky hair? Or why, you question yourself, right? But then you need to realize that you are unique. They're only, unless you're a twin, they're only one of you. And even though people might say, oh, I saw somebody that resemble you, that is not you. You are unique. It's the extra something was added to your portion when you were being made that made you special. So you need to remember that you are unique.
Exactly. Yeah, just add to what Shelly is saying. I really like that. You shouldn't try to fit in because God made you to not fit in. God made you special.
Stand out.
So you don't try to be like this person because you're just going to shun the person who you really are. You're just going to shun the person that you really are. So I think your point is very, very good.
Yes. All of us points are. Yes. Before we end, I want us to do something. I know that our viewers, we have some young viewers that do not have a high self-esteem. And before we go, I want each and every one of us to give them a word so that they can look at themselves and say, okay, I am this and I am this. Start with myself. You are educated. Ruth?
Just before I say that, I just want to say that to every person who's not feeling, like they're worth it, I think that you need to go in front of your mirror and tell yourself that I am beautiful, I am worth it, I can do all things, and just tell yourself that, I don't know, but from my experience, when I stand in front of the mirror and I talk to myself, I look myself in the eye and I talk to myself, it just like makes me feel so powerful. Like what anybody else says cannot affect me because I know who I am. And you know, you can encourage yourself. You don't have to wait on somebody else to do it.
Your word?
Your word.
Your word.
You are powerful beyond measure.
You are unique.
You are beautiful and love yourself.
You are special.
You are worth it.
You're extraordinary.
You are beautiful and wonderfully made. And you don't care what other things about you because you're special.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you for tuning in to the fourth episode of our show that was sponsored by the Child Rights Alliance. You can tune in again next week, same place, same time. And my advice to you on this lovely weekend is to look out for those that are not looking out for you. Thank you for tuning in.